गया है मुझे बाबा, मिल गया है मेरे साथ चलते चलते, मेरे साथ चलते चलते। सब इंतजाम तैयार, सब इंतजाम तैयार, सुखधाम अब नहीं दूर, सुखधाम अब नहीं दूर। ये ज्योति, ये ज्योति जग रही है, ये ज्योति जग रही है, दुख धाम जलते जलते, दुख धाम जलते जलते। ये ज्योति जग रही है, ये ज्योति जग रही है, ये ज्योति जग रही है। चल गई है सारी चिंता, चल गई है, चल गई है सारी चिंता, चल गई है सारी चिंता। चिंता ये चुपके चुपके, चिंता ये चुपके चुपके। मुझे बाबा मिल गया है, मुझे बाबा मिल गया है, मेरे साथ चलते चलते, मेरे साथ चलते चलते। मुझे बाबा मिल गया है, मुझे बाबा मिल गया है, मेरे साथ चलते चलते, मेरे साथ चलते चलते। वही गीता बस गई है, वही गीता बस गई है, मेरा भाग्य बनते बनते, मेरा भाग्य बनते बनते। मुझे बाबा मिल गया है, मुझे बाबा मिल गया है, मेरे साथ चलते चलते, मेरे साथ चलते चलते, चलते चलते, चलते चलते, चलते चलते, चलते चलते।
Om Shanti. Good morning to everyone. And we are seeing a very beautiful smiling face in front of us. This is none other than our own Renuka Ben, who is there with us every day on our group. She is from Malaysia and she's here to share with us her journey in Gyan. And the point to note here is Didi's entire family is in Gyan. Her children, her Yugal, all are in Gyan. So Didi, over to you. And we are eager to hear your story.
Om Shanti. Good morning, angels. Thank you very much, Rakhi Ben, and also to all of you for giving me this opportunity. As she already mentioned, I'm from Malaysia. Just to tell a little of my Lokik family. My father is from Bharat. He came to Malaysia together with the Indian National Army with Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose and settled in Malaysia. My mom is from Penang, and we are very ordinary, simple family, but very conservative. They were, my parents were. But my father always believed that being in the military, he always felt everybody are brothers and sisters, because that's how they were drilled in the military. And from young, in Bhakti, we used to do what? Whenever we have any problem, when we ask our parents, especially my mother, what we should do, she will always tell us, write to God. And then we have the small altar of Ganesh. So what we will do, we will write and slowly with our little hands in our primary days, we will write and put the letter under the statue, thinking that, okay, God will give us an answer. So, and truly, if Baba says, isn't it, even in Bhakti, he helps. So he used to help us. And parents always guided us to care for one another. So even before I came to Gyan, I used to do a lot of service for especially mothers. I used to go to the hospitals on weekends and see who are the lonely ones. Those days we didn't have any handphone, things like that. I will just go and sit and chit chat with them. And then sometimes they will ask to buy postcards, stamps, or write to their family members why they are not visiting us. I used to feel very merciful for them. And when I got married, I came far away from our family. My family was a close-knitted family. We were 5 sisters and 2 brothers, and we sisters were very close. And when I came very far, because my husband was working on the east coast of Malaysia, he was attached to the Royal Malaysian Air Force. And I didn't have any chance to go back regularly as what I thought. And I was just like thrown into a place where we didn't have much friends except from the Air Force. And slowly I learned how to get used, because most of the time he will go on detachments. And because I had the habit of reading and talking to God, I just managed to finish my time. Most of the occasions, things happen smoothly. I will talk to God and he will answer. And along the line in my family, sometimes even during Bhakti days, things go wrong. It went so wrong until my family foundation was shaken up, very extremely shaken up, to the point that I had the thought of even committing suicide. And husband and wife, we thought of separating, asking for divorce, things like that, because some negative forces came into our life and started to control our family. And at that time, very deeply, I called out to God. My Lokik father, I was very close with him, because every night he used to tell lots of bedtime stories. So he was no more, he left the body. And when this thing happened, it really affected me. And I was just in deep thoughts, what should I do? It was a point of time in my life where I and my Yugal were not even on talking terms. So it just went on. And at that time, off and on, when in front of public, we will just respond to each other. But we were doing a lot of bhakti. And once we went for one Shiv Baba's festival, and when we came back, because some incident happened in the temple, my husband said, from now on, I'm not going to go to temple. And I was just quiet. And at that time, his friend's wife called me to have a normal chit chat. And then I said, we just came back from the temple. She said, since you're doing so much of bhakti, I feel you should go to Brahma Kumaris. Because I had gone there many years, about 7 years before that, for a public program by Didi Meera. And a Punjabi friend and his wife, they took me there. I liked the atmosphere, very peaceful, very divine. And I felt they all looked so much like angels. And when I came back, I was so excited. I told my husband that I think we should go. No, it's a beautiful place, very divine, very spiritual. But whereas he is opposite of me, he is a socialite, because being in the Air Force, they drink, they smoke, they like going to the mess for parties, things like that. So it was a clash of thoughts and way of life. And he totally declined. He said, no, that's not for us. Let us do that when we are old. So I just kept quiet. And after this, when his friend's wife called and he was already upset because of the incident in the temple. Then he said, okay, you call up Brahma Kumaris and see whether they are willing to accommodate us. Tell them that we will come as a family and take this knowledge. Then I called them, and the sister in the center was very accommodative. She said, okay, tomorrow you all can come. So the next day, the whole family went. We took the knowledge. The first day, first lesson, as it was going on, I saw Brahma Baba's picture. He attracted me because I didn't have my Lokik father. But as I was looking at him, I saw him looking from end to end, because we were sitting in a row. I saw his eyes are so red and he's looking at all of us. So I immediately stopped the sister. I said, sister, if you don't mind, I want to ask you something. Who is this elderly man? She said, not to worry. I said, is he your guru or something? He said, no, don't worry about all that. We will tell you at the end of the course. But I looked up again and I still saw him looking at all of us. And I was thinking, who is this man? From a photo just like that, he's coming to life. But then since she told like that, I was silent. Then we finished our 7 days course in 5 days. She gave us very good sustenance, in the sense she gave a lot of motivation, and she gave us books to read, and we bought some books. And then my husband was asking, is that all finished? There's nothing more to Brahma Kumaris? Then she suggested, you can come for evening class. Within a few days, he said, is that all in Brahma Kumaris? Then he said, if you want, you can come for morning class, because tomorrow some seniors are coming from Kuala Lumpur. And he said, if possible, if you all have white clothes, you all can use. It so happened, even in Bhakti, we do like to use white. So we all had white clothes. We all went there. They were quite surprised. Then after that, she really thought, what is Amritwala, and asked us. And we were staying at a distance, and we still come. We come for Amritwala. We go back, pick the children, send them to school, things like that. And along the line, Didi Meera came. She said, this is not right. You won't stay with Baba for too long, because very hectic for you to travel up and down. Shift house. So we moved from our previous place, which was nearer to the base, to town, nearer to the center. And slowly I started going and helping in the center. And the center versus sister felt it was time for me to go to Baba, meet Baba, Baba's Milan. That is after 8 months. And I was very happy, really excited, although I don't know much, okay. I just went, and one brother from the Kuala Lumpur, he guided me, a Chinese brother. He guided me and took me along, and we went via Delhi. When we were there, Dadi Gulza was the first one to give class, and he quickly came to me, sister, this class is very important. You have to attend. Don't miss Dadi's class. So I attended the class. I have sat in front because I'm very short also. So I went and sat in front, very excited. Dadi came, she gave everybody very loving drishti. She talked very little, and she kept reminding, be happy, be cheerful. And she said, that is the best service you all can do. So I was thinking, it's quite interesting. In Brahma Kumaris, you don't have to do much, just be happy as we are. Then I went to Madhuban. In Madhuban, I really felt very light and nice. It was so exciting. Then the best part, which attracted me even before the Milan, was every Brahmin soul was very, very loving, very caring. Although I'm a different person, not a North Indian or what, they were loving and caring. And even though we didn't understand the language, some of them didn't speak proper English, but somehow we communicated, and they gave so much of love. And I was thinking, it's such a beautiful family. I really felt more caring and loving. I said, wow, they are really nice, no? I didn't feel I missed my Lokik family. And after Baba's Milan was the best. And after Baba's Milan, some of the Malaysian sisters whom we were staying together, they were telling me again and again, sister, you seem so happy, because they are all many years in Gyan and I was so young. And they say, sister, you seem to be so happy. And remember one thing, when you go back, be prepared for test papers. And this I never heard before coming to Madhuban. And I was thinking, what is this test paper thing? I asked them, what is it you're telling? They just say, don't be too happy. And it disturbed me. So I went and looked for Didi, Dr. Nirmala. I said, Didi, some of these Malaysians who came with me, they keep telling me that don't be too happy. Test papers are going to come. What is it they're trying to say? She just gave me drishti and she said, do you love Baba? I say, yes. Are you happy? I say, yes. You are enjoying yourself here? I say, yes. She said, just maintain as you are, how you are. Don't worry about whatever people say. If anything comes, whatever happens in family, there will be things happening, right? It's normal. Even if you didn't come to Madhuban, anything can happen. Just be yourself. If anything happens, just surrender to Baba. Just tell Baba, these things are happening. Baba, you take care, because you are my everything. And Baba will take care for you. So I went back with a happy heart. I said, okay, nothing to worry. But when I reached Kuala Lumpur, because I have to take a transit flight to my place, I was already on the transit waiting to board the flight. And I felt these people are talking about test papers. Why not? I called home. So when I called home, I say, how is everything? They say, fine, nothing to worry. Then I called back my local family back in Penang. I asked my sister, how are things? Before I can ask her, how are things? I called her. She asked me, how do you know? Then I asked her, what do you mean by how do you know? Then she said, my maternal grandma left the body. I said, okay. Then I said, if at all I can make it, tomorrow means I will come. But so happened they had the same day the funeral, so I didn't go. And that night, my Lokik husband had a massive heart attack. And he just tapped and called me because he couldn't talk. And we went to the hospital, really had to rush him to the hospital. And he was there for about 11 days before he was transferred to the National Heart Institute in Kuala Lumpur. And I had the opportunity also to follow him. Initially, the doctors don't allow family members to follow in the ambulance. But by then we are with Baba after telling to Baba. And somehow the doctor said, okay. And he approved and let me follow. Once I reached there, settled him, I called back home because the two boys and I have 5 children, including Baba. That means the two boys, they were there, and my youngest daughter was also there. She was only about 9, 10 years old. So I called and asked, how is things back home? And I could hear my son's voice was not right. Then he said, never mind, mommy, you take care of Papa. I said, no, that's not the point. I am taking care. He's already in good hands. What is wrong? Then he told my youngest daughter, a motorcyclist lost control and the motorbike tire went over her arm and her arm was dangling. The same hospital where father was discharged and went to KL, she was admitted. And because these two are boys, they couldn't stay with her, and one biggie sister helped to take care of her. And my family members, when they heard about it later, when they came to know, they asked to arrange to send her to Penang so that they can take care. And these boys were here alone with Baba's help. We just surrendered to Baba, let Baba take care of everything. And it is the Brahmin family, they sent food for them, help them and look into them. And not many of them know us, but they really volunteered. They cooked and took care of the two boys, coming, checking on them. And after that, even in back in Kuala Lumpur, they sent food for me because, they sent food from different centers. BKs took turns to cook for us. I was very, very touched. I was thinking, because we are vegetarians and we are with Baba, but we didn't know that. We were just wondering, and my husband was semi-conscious and then back normal. It was like that. But when because they were sending food and taking care, at the same time, one senior brother came and told me, sister, to keep yourself more stable, keep reading the Avyakt Murli. It will help you a lot. That's when I started reading Avyakt Murli and I started enjoying. And I felt Baba really helped me all the way through. Because for my husband, doctors told there's only a 10% chance of survival because he had, according to them, he had aorta rupture, which was so severe. But then when we went to the institute, Heart Institute, they said no, he had some blocks and so on. And then he had his surgery and he came out of it. And before we can recover from that, my another son, he had this eye cancer and the eye had to be removed. And Brahmins were such that the moment they knew, Meera Didi was very, very supportive. She messaged us and she called us. She said, how are you all? Be strong, don't worry, Baba is with you all. And at the same time also, she asked the Brahmins in the center after Murli, they will meditate for our family to give us so much of strength. And my eldest daughter was away studying in Australia. So the youth there, when they had the time, they were having the youth get together. And she told the senior there, and the youth there also started meditating. So we didn't feel any pain or sorrow, which if we were in the Lokik life, I would have broke down because I am not the type. I was very timid and was not brave. Coming to Baba, Baba gave a lot of strength. And those days before I came to Baba, I wouldn't even dare look at a man in his eye. I used to feel very shy and I feel that's not right because that's what parents taught it also. You are not supposed to look and stare at people. But after coming to Baba, drishti, you learn the word drishti. So you learn how to give drishti and how the Sakash works. It helped a lot. And Baba taught us how to live our life the Brahmin way. So when we prepared food at home, we used to put Baba's songs and we had 24 hours Om going on. And we learned how to give drishti and take drishti when we are offering each other food and water. And we felt so much of strength through all this. And our way of life, although we are spiritually inclined towards Baba, our jokes were more of a Brahmin joke. We gather the Murli and we talk about the Murli and we ask, okay, what happened? Things like that. And along the line, after that, I also had my fair share of settlement of karmic account, I should say. I had an appendix operation. Before that, I had a stroke. So it affected my left part of my body. And I was just telling to Baba, Baba, if you want me to live, let me lead a proper life and do some small level service at least. Otherwise, take me off because in this place, I don't have any family members. It's you and this small family. It's you and this small family. So we helped each other. to come out of things. And every day I maintained Amrit Vela, Murli, and I could just move on. After some time, I recovered from it. I felt that was also Baba's help, you know. And 6 months after my stroke, I had this appendix operation. And that too, I was traveling from Kuala Lumpur back home, which is about 240 kilometers. I was feeling the pain slightly. I was just wondering what's happening. And the doctor said, immediately I came back home. I didn't have my Yugal here. That time he was away. And these 2 small children were with me. And they said, Mommy, better go and see the doctor. And the doctor immediately admitted me. And 2 days, they had to put me on fast because at that time, there was another patient. It was during the Muslim festival here in Malaysia. So most of the doctors were on leave. So at that time, there was a lady who was full-term pregnant, met with an accident, and she was in a coma. And there was limited doctors. So the doctors were telling, we have to take care of her and we have to see. They were afraid that my appendix might rupture. So they keep checking. And eventually, for 2 days, I had to be fasting. And on the second day at 1 a.m., they wheeled me to the operation theater and had my surgery done. And that also, the 2 days without any food and drinks, I was just on drips. I felt it is Baba's help. I didn't feel upset or disturbed or tired or fear. Nothing came in. That was how Baba let me move on. And the children, I felt their specialty was, when they first came to Baba, they enjoyed Baba's songs and the Toli, which the Center Vasi sister always used to give. So my 2 daughters, whenever we are offering Bhog, they will sing Baba's Bhog songs. So that's how it kept us together. And when they went for further studies and they were away from home, it is Baba's strength which kept them moving. I had another experience. I had a reason to go to Taiwan, and that time there was an earthquake. And that was another incident, how nature, I had some karmic account with nature also, but I didn't feel fear. I didn't even realize it was earthquake. I was feeling some trembling going on. And then I asked my daughter, what's happening here? Then she said, Mommy, it's an earthquake. No, quickly, we have to quickly get out of the building. We just saw the doors of the university campus just moving up and down. And that's it. Again, then it's Baba who kept us going. I feel overall, one incident after another coming at my workplace. I used to work as a coordinator in the tuition center. At that place also, there were 2 occasions when we had fire. And Baba gave me the strength to just do everything, although the students were in so much of fear. And another incident was also thugs coming to our working place. I for some reason, I didn't even realize they were thugs. I was just telling, yes, brothers, what can I do for you all? I was just talking to them normal. Eventually, I realized one thing. When we have so much of love for Baba, we only vibrate love to everybody. And being humble helps a lot. Humility helps a lot. And after all the things I had gone through, even in the Lokik life, to almost when the family was separated and would have gone into a mess, the search for Baba didn't go to waste. Baba helped all the way through until today. When the children have anything, the habit of talking to Baba now, it has helped them. And at every step, Baba helps them. Even quite recently, because I come from a normal average family, I can't afford to send the children for further studies except for their first degree. Each of them we could support them. But thereafter, we had to wait for some scholarship or something like that. And Baba arranged everything for each one of them to go through, and everyone is doing fine with their studies and work. The eldest is she was working with the Ministry of Education. Now she's gone to UK to continue her PhD. Second one, he's a pharmacist by profession. He's the one staying with us now. And third one, he opted to become a chef. So his degree is in culinary. And the fourth one, she is so intoxicated in serving small children and special needs children. So she took up special needs, and she's a special needs teacher. And she's in Kuala Lumpur. So each one, and Malaysia is still under red zone with the lockdown of the virus. But Baba, being Baba, he keeps us so occupied. We never feel that we are distressed or there's nothing to do. He keeps us occupied. And that is the time when I came into this group, and I felt so much of love in this group also. So wherever I go, Brahmins had been giving love and care, and they are so nice. I felt Baba also mentions in the Murli, every home should be like Madhuban, every home should be heaven. What you learn here, you go and do that there. So I feel Baba gave me so much of love there through the Brahmin family. I come back, I should also do the same thing here. So how I see everyone is my family. Even those who have hurt me, or those who have done anything wrong, I know that it is my karmic account. I had done something wrong. That is why I'm settling my account. So if Baba can accept us, we have been so naughty in many ways, yet Baba has accepted us. Why should I reject anyone? So I see everyone with a lot of love, because that's what was given to us. And I really appreciate also the Malaysian Brahmin family, the seniors, Mira Didi, our Lechubai, the president, and the other senior brothers and sisters. They have always given a lot of motivation and encouragement in our Brahmin life. So that kept our family going till today. I think it's already time. I will end here. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Om Shanti. Rakhi Ben, over to you.
Thank you so much, Renu. We will take a few moments of pause, and then we are open to have more sharings from each one of us, what we got while Renuben was sharing. Any questions that we have for Renuben, we can then speak on that after a few minutes. So let's take a moment of silence. Om Shanti. We can unmute ourselves, and anything that we wish to share with Renuben, want to know from her end, we're open to have a discussion with her. Renuben, it was intoxicating to hear your story. One practice that I would want you to share with us is what was the practice that the whole family took so that each one of you are in Gyan and are practicing the dharana as whenever you spoke to me, you spoke about it. So what were the various practices that allowed you all to come together and be in Gyan? Like all the 6 of you are in Gyan.
Since we took the knowledge together, I was a vegetarian before I came to Baba. But my Lokik husband doesn't believe in that. He say it's because they are in the military. He always feel that it's a waste of your life by eating grass. You know, he used to tease me, and he likes to smoke, drink, and whatever the normal people in the military do. So, but when he came to Baba, when the sister talked about the 4 pillars, all of them felt, oh my God, what we are doing is wrong. They came back from the center, and my third son removed whatever non-veg stuff from the fridge and he threw it away. And one of them was telling, why you want to throw it? Why not give it to some neighbors? He said, we know it's not good, it's poison. Why you want to give to others? And they instantly transformed. I think it's just Baba's work. They just transform and they feel it is so important for us to follow. And that's it. They just accepted it. That was the best part. They accepted it. The only thing is everybody agreed, and they themselves said, Mommy, okay, from now on, we will be like you also vegetarian. But prior to that, I used to cook for them onion garlic because we also used to have it. So that we removed from our diet, our cooking. And even in Bhakti, we used to offer bhog, but we didn't know that for Baba, we used to put in small containers, offer little and so on. But whereas in Bhakti, we used to put in the banana leaf so full of whatever we have cooked, we will put so much and then offer. After coming to Baba, we know we have to give all small amounts. And the first time when the sister gave, I was thinking the center was having some financial problem. I asked her, do you all have some financial problem? She looked at me and she asked, why are you asking such a question? I said, why do you have everything so small and so on? Is it that? Then she said, oh, these are things offered to God one. So that's when we first learned how to also offer bhog, So everybody accepted it and they transformed immediately after that class. But only my Lokik husband had one problem. He couldn't quit his smoking. And just immediately after we took the knowledge, within 2-3 months, there was the Asian retreat. And Meera Didi was telling, okay, are you all following all the Maryadas? Is your family Indian? And then we all, yes. But of course, we said yes. And he said yes and no. Then she said, what do you mean by yes and no? Then he said, I still smoke, Didi. I can't stop that. He said, what are you talking? That's nonsense. That's something you learn in between. That is not something your original quality. So she asked him to go up the stage and get the blessings from Baba and Brahmin family. There were about 1,000 Brahmins attending that retreat. And men, being men with so much of ego, he felt very embarrassed. He said, no, Didi, you want any sharing to be done, let her do it. And he didn't want to go, but she insisted, no, she's not going, you are going. You get the blessings and everything will work out fine. And he went up and he was just asking Baba's help. Baba, I really don't know what to do. You are going to help. And when he looked at all the Brahmins sitting there, he said he felt as if they were all just light everywhere. And he just talked to them and he said, I've come, Didi asked me to come and I need the blessings from all of you to quit my smoking. But the power of the gathering, how important to be in the Brahmin gathering, I learned from that incident. The power of the gathering really transformed instantly, because when we went for the retreat, whenever he's in white, he usually don't carry his cigarette packet, but he left it in the glove compartment of the car. To take it out and throw, so he felt like it's so yucksy like that. He didn't want to do it. And from then he totally quit smoking also. So I was thinking, what I tried to do, ask him to quit because it's bad for your health, it didn't work. It is Baba's powers which help. So I also realized it's so important to be in the gathering of Brahmins always. So whenever I get a chance, any programs, any activities, I try to be. And even how busy I am, I will just on my laptop or computer just to listen and get Baba's vibrations. It helped me a lot all the way, even now. That's why Brahmin gathering is wonderful. It helped the children. The children are out and they are not 100% following the Maryadas, in the sense they still eat out sometimes, but they are all vegetarians. And I still give them the space because I feel so far what they are doing is very good. So I just give them because they have to have their experiences, and they are with Baba until now. Om Shanti.
That's a beautiful.
And this is one more
beautiful.
thing I want to add in. Baba keep telling it is already end of time. It's the time of return journey. So after so many things happening, I realize I am in the queue to return home. So why should I have ill feeling for anybody? I will treat everybody with so much of love. Because why? During the early part of the lockdown of this year, January to March, I start writing out. I had more than 16 family members and friends and close ones who left the body, not because of COVID, but some reason or other, one by one was leaving. And for a while, it disturbed me. I felt sad because I couldn't go. Then I said, what am I doing? I shouldn't feel like that. Then I stopped counting. And even until now, there are so many leaving the body. But I always tell myself, we are in the queue to return home. It's okay. And after all, we will go for our journey continues. So that kept us going. Om Shanti.
That's very motivational and something to practice, the sharing that you have shared. And as today's Avyak Murli says, just having faith in Baba is very important. But Baba has mentioned in today's Avyak Murli, which is going to be read in the center today, where Baba says that have complete faith in Brahmin family. And very beautifully, you brought that point right now, that the family was there with you in every moment of the challenges that came in life, So thank you for instilling that aspect, that have faith in Baba, have faith in the family. Thank you so much, Renuben, for that sharing.
Thank you. Thank you, Baba. Thank you to all of you also for giving me the opportunity. You want to put some music or something, sister?
There's a message from Swapna Ben where she says, the humbleness and love actually vibrated from you. Glad to have you, and really the faith reflected in your experience. So true it is. There's another message from Jay Prakash. He says, great experience. Thank you, Babdada. So, yeah, sister, we can take the meditation. So, shall we put the music?
Yes, sure.
Oh, there's another message from Sujata, sister, and she says, very interesting to hear you.
Thank you.
Inspiring us how to be firm even in times of obstacles. Thank you, Baba.
The main message here is, because I also just realized that in this group, we also have some souls who have taken knowledge through the digital media. My main thing is, no matter what happens, stay with Baba, because nobody can help us as he does. Can I share one more incident?
Sure, sister.
Okay. I don't want to mention names, but there was this brother, when he left the body, Baba's first question was, child, why didn't you call out to me? And that message was so deeply embedded in me. I told this to all the children in the family. I said, you see, no matter what problem come, whatever your struggles are, just think, either it could be one test paper, or it could be, I did something in my 63 birth, I'm settling it now. but call out to Baba. Baba, you are my father or you are my mother, whatever relationship you are taking him. Baba, see, this is the situation, help me. And we have this habit which started in Asia Retreat Center in Kuala Lumpur when one senior came from India. That senior sister suggested that we should have Baba's room at the entrance when you go out of the main center. And she said, whenever you're coming, you'd go and talk to Baba, say, Baba, I'm here in this home. When you're going, you say, Baba, okay, let's go. Treat him as a family member who is living there in your home, and talk to him, and he will be there all the way through. So that practice also we bring in the house. Okay, Baba, let's go to the market. Let's go here. Let's go there. That helps also. And that when Baba asked that brother, child, why didn't you call out to me? So you see, Baba has got so much to do, but the moment our thought power, Baba, please help, he will definitely help. Although it is like a Bhagat calling out, but Brahmin children are his children, real children. He will definitely help us. And we should not waste the life we have got in this auspicious confluence age, because it is the most elevated age we live together with God in a relationship, not God-fearing as in bhakti. And hold on to Baba no matter what test papers come. He will help us. Om Shanti. Thank you, angels.
Yeah, very, very rightly said, sister. And there's been many experiences which each one of us have. And Baba has been always there. Just have his company with you all the time.
We can have some meditation and finish off, sister.
Yes.
Thank you, Rakhi Ben.
Thank you, Renu Ben. Apurva sister, we can have some music.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you also, Apurva Ben.
Thank you. Very inspiring for me also. Thank you so much. Thank you, Baba. Truly.
Thank you, Renu sister. Thank you so much. Om Shanti.
Thank you. Om Shanti. Let's sit relaxed and be comfortable. I become aware of my breathing. I become aware of my thoughts which are passing in my mind. I bring my mind towards my thoughts of myself, of my true nature. Who am I? I, the tiny point of light sparkling in the middle of my forehead. Concentrated energy, powerful energy. I radiate light through my body, the costume. I feel myself different from this body. A point of light. I am alive, vibrant, sparkling, and divine. I, the soul, and separate from this dense body of matter, which is my vehicle. Without it, I can fly. With my pure thoughts, I am traveling, leaving this world, this body behind, moving away from the experience of the body. I am so subtle. I, the subtle being of light, a star, so bright, radiating light. I move beyond sound to the ocean of light. I bathe in the ocean of light. I become aware of another being. As I come closer, I feel as if I am diving deep into an unlimited ocean. I merge into the Supreme Being. This is the ocean of bliss. I merge into the Supreme Being. This is the ocean of peace. An unlimited ocean, receiving and complete. I am merged in the experience of the highest soul, diving into the depths of bliss. So deep, so silent is this ocean. Baba, you are here for me. You are my everything. Every single ray you're radiating towards me is uplifting me. The treasure of peace, the eternal love you're giving, the light, the bliss, the waves of golden red light, it breaks around me. I experiencing it. I bathe in your rays. I am clean by your rays. The purity I feel from you, it is taking me into the depths. As I bathe and I dive into the depths of bliss, I experience your silence, deep silence. Refreshed by the ocean, surrendered by the waves and depth, I float gently, softly, slowly. I glide down and I return back to my body. I am a peaceful soul. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Once again, thank you, Renuben, for sharing such an inspiring journey, and have each one of us will have a great day today. And let's meet up tomorrow morning at 5:30 a.m. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, Didi, can I have a request?
Yes, sure.
This is regarding today's the Renu sisters that sharing. Could you please share me the recordings, please?
Brother, can you just share your mobile number, and
Yes.
I will share that.
Okay, sister. Thank you. Have a nice day. Om
Just
Shanti.
message me your mobile number on chat.
Yes. Okay, sister.
Om Shanti. Thank you all.
Om Shanti. So beautiful, sister. Thank you, Baba.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Bye.
Om Shanti.
Thank you, sister. Om Shanti.